This is Sarah, and today I'm going to talk a bit more about Shibon, particularly more testimony regarding my thoughts and feelings surrounding the project, because there's still a lot more to say. I'm going to talk about matters of hormones and pheromones specifically, because there's a lot in that category that I wish people would have told me when I was younger, because it would have affected my understanding of the human condition as I grew up to become an adult. Hormones, right? So when we're going through puberty, everyone says, you're going through this stage in your life where your body's filled with all these chemicals and they're causing you to change and become an adult animal. And because of that, one of the byproducts is that you're supposed to be horny all the time. I found it's a little bit different. For 2 weeks out of every month, I am ravenously horny because my body's probably ovulating and telling me that this is the point in time when I need to get pregnant. And then for 2 weeks out of the month, I don't really care as much. And it kind of, in a gradient goes back and forth between the two. And there's not really a whole lot I can do about that because that's just how my body is ebbing and flowing chemically. When I was growing up, though, in my early 20s, everyone was like, why don't you want to fuck things all the time? That's what young people are supposed to want to do. And there was this weird expectation placed on me as a female in every relationship that I was in to sort of meet my partner as far as their level of sexual energy is concerned, and I never could. And because of that, I always felt like there's something wrong with me. So if there's any knowledge that I could pass on to somebody who doesn't necessarily know this, it's that if you're a female and you don't feel like having sex all the time, that's perfectly normal. At least I think biologically that can be explained in some capacity. So the other thing that I want to discuss a bit more is matters of pheromones. Because if there's anything that I've noticed throughout my life, it's that I've become increasingly more sensitive to scents, particularly personal scents in males. I think that this extends into this observation I've made that there is a huge difference between physical attraction and sexual attraction. If every person you're in a relationship with is like a pie chart, each slice is a different quality, and they are a percentage of that quality. Some slices are bigger for physical attraction or personality chemistry. There's kind of an infinite number of things that could possibly go into the pie, but one of those slices is usually sexual attraction. And it's something that I didn't really consider a lot because I thought that sexual attraction was one and the same with whether or not you found somebody physically attractive. It turns out that this really isn't the case. I found in my younger years I was in a lot of relationships with people who I had a lot of personality chemistry with. Like, I liked who they were as a person. We were compatible socially, and I was attracted to them physically, like what their face looked like, but I just didn't ever want to have sex with them. If it wasn't there was nothing I could really do to negotiate with my physiology to make it present, because that's not how that's supposed to work. Who we are sexually attracted to, we have a lot less control over than we think. And this has entirely to do with our pheromones. They tell other animals who they should and shouldn't mate with, and it works much the same way with us. And this is something that I know, but I have to hear it again and again and remind myself that it also applies to me. So your body's trying to tell you, hey, like, this person is a good candidate as a potential mate for procreation, and everyone else who doesn't necessarily have a scent, or has a bad scent for that matter, probably isn't, and you shouldn't make babies with them. Given the type of relationship you enter into with a person, the sexual attraction pie slice is going to have a varying amount of importance. Some people are looking for primarily a relationship based on sexual attraction, where that pie slice is paramount and all the other ones aren't even on the table. Where on the other side of the coin, you can have a relationship where all the other pie slices are satisfied and the sexual attraction one is quite a bit smaller, but that's alright because both parties agree that it's not as important as all the other ones. The point I'm trying to make is that we need to understand the mechanism behind sexual attraction so that we can decide how large of a role we want it to play in our relationships. And the key to doing that is understanding how it works and whether or not it's there to begin with. And again, this seems nuts, because as an animal, it seems like something you should just innately know. And like, I think I want to say when I was younger, I knew that that was how it was supposed to work, and I thought that that's how it was working, but it kind of wasn't. Because you can't really know any better until you've actually had the thing, until you've experienced it once before. Only then do you really know what that is all about. So if you aren't entirely sure, if you have to ask, the answer is probably no. And that goes for a lot of things in life. In closing, pay attention to yourself. I guess that's the thing that I'm trying to pass on. If something isn't there, don't feel bad, don't force it. And if something is there, listen to it. It's important. It's one of the most important things about being an animal, is listening to what you feel. So I'm gonna get back to work, and I'm going to start thinking of my next video because I've still got stuff to say. It's just completely off topic to what I'm talking about now, so I'll get to that in another installment of this Shibon testimonial. Until then, as always, thank you for watching and keep making awesome stuff out there.